Hello everyone, welcome to my living room. Comfy and cozy here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So one of my subscribers asked me to do a video on the benefits of fasting. So obviously, if you've watched a couple of my fasting videos, you know that I absolutely love fasting. I incorporate it now as a lifestyle. I still have more weight to lose, but I do fasting on a regular basis and I love it. It makes me feel good, gives me the mental clarity that I need, helps me get younger. At least that's what they say, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I really love it. And what I did is I went through and I wrote down many of the benefits for fasting. So today I wanted to share it with you. One of the first and biggest reasons that people come to fasting is weight loss. So when you're fasting, you're not going into starvation mode. There's a very big difference between starvation mode and fasting. And if you're interested in fasting, I really hope that you've been doing some research, that you've been watching some videos here on YouTube, and that you're really getting into it because it is quite fascinating and it really does a lot for our bodies. So obviously we lose weight. In general, when you're first beginning on a fast, now it does depend on how much weight you have to lose. If you have to lose a lot, then you could lose 5 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds actually in the first day. Seriously, it's that crazy. But if not, you'll usually lose between maybe like 2 and 3 pounds the first day, and then gradually what I find is that it tends to be like a pound a day. So I think that's pretty fantastic as long as you're keeping it like a straight water fast. I include coffee. So a lot of people say, you know, no coffee, that's not good. I have black coffee and I do put a little bit of stevia in it that I get at Whole Foods, which I'll put a picture up to show you. I use that stevia. I love it. I won't do without it. That is my way. That is what I've been doing for fasting, and that's how I lose weight. I still lose weight. It doesn't affect me. I like it. I'm keeping it. So obviously weight loss. So what your body does is your body starts eating your fat for energy, okay? So when you eat, of course, your body changes your food into glucose. And especially like, you know, any carbs or any sugars, anything like that is gonna go in as glucose into your body. The glucose then gets used in your daily activities. So we've trained our bodies to get hungry, basically breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so our bodies are very used to that. So it'll use up our glucose and then it'll send out the hunger hormone because it wants you to eat more so you can have more glucose. Obviously, if you've been doing like the ketogenic diet, then you know you don't get hungry like that because you're not having those carbs. So just eating your fats and your proteins and your little bit of healthy carbs, you know that sometimes you really actually can forget to eat. You can go for very long periods without eating because you just don't feel that hunger. Your body isn't sending out that sensation of hunger, that it's not turning on the hunger hormone. All right, so the weight loss, obviously, but also other things, detox. Your body goes through massive detox when you're fasting. Sometimes people experience different symptoms when they're fasting. So they could get a headache, they could get acne that maybe comes out, pimples on your butt. Like there's a lot of different things that could happen when people are fasting. But you just got to push through because basically what your body is saying to you is your body saying, oh my goodness, we're not eating. So guess what? I get to put all my energy into healing. So that's what's going on. Actually, I was really surprised, which I'll talk about in a little bit later, but I just read that fasting has even cured varicose veins. So people who had varicose veins who fasted, I think it was a 4-day fast, the varicose veins would gradually diminish, and eventually disappear with continued fasting. I mean, how great is that, right? Especially for those of us who are getting a little older, we would definitely like that. So detox, your skin, your liver, your colon, your lymphatic system, your kidneys, everything is detoxing. Some people say like they'll get a backache, a lower backache, right? So that's your kidneys. Your kidneys are functioning and are really working overtime to clear out all the toxins. Dr. Fung, if you've ever watched any of his videos, He says basically that a 3-day fast is where you're going to get kind of like the maximum amount of benefit. So 3-day fasting is good. If you still need to lose weight, then you refeed. So a refeed being trying to keep it under 500 calories, basically fats and proteins, and then hop right back on the fast and continue to do it. But we're talking about straight up fasting here, so we'll talk about refeeds maybe in another video. Anyway, so your body's clearing out your toxins. Also, fasting strengthens your immune system. So instead of spending all of this time on digestion, if you think about it, like we're eating all the time, right? And especially those of us, I used to be into bodybuilding, and a lot of people who are into nutrition, they're like, oh, you need to keep your glucose levels like stable, right? You kind of need to constantly feed your body in order to stay within this range so that you can keep your metabolism up. Well, it turns out that you're spending so much time digesting food all of the time, right? Your body's just constantly digesting, and we're not allowing our body to rest from digestion because we're constantly feeding it. And so then we don't have, our bodies can't spend time doing the other things that it needs to do. So it strengthens your immune system. Also, you get improved skeletal and muscles. So basically they say that when you're fasting, you don't have to, like people work out when they're fasting. I work out when I'm fasting. But because you have the human growth hormone that is like you're producing more of it when you fast. So you can do less exercise, like less strength training, and get more of a result because you're fasting. So that's pretty amazing. Extended life expectancy. So your body, while you're fasting, your body is literally repairing itself. It's getting rid of basically the cells that are like degenerate, they're not perfect anymore, and this happens like over time, right? But if your body is spending so much time and energy on digestion, you don't have that time to get rid of and recycle those old cells. So when you fast, your body has that needed time to do that, and by doing that, it extends your life. So even cutting down on calories, actually. So apparently there was a study done that said that it's not been done on humans, but it's been done on like mice, and that if you eat 30% less, if you have a 30% less caloric intake over obviously an extended amount of time, then you're actually increasing your lifespan by 30%. So our bodies really don't need as much food as we're eating, but it's just in our culture. We eat a lot, right? Food is good. So we need to think about that though. Oh, self-control. Yes, definitely. So here's the thing. If you were like me and you have a sugar addiction, self-control is like when you start eating it, you need to eat more and more and more. Like you need to eat it. You think you need to eat it, right? We think we like need it. It's like withdrawal from a drug or something. I mean, I don't do drugs, but I imagine that's what it's like when you love somebody too much and you're addicted to that person. I've had that. So, but you're in withdrawal, right? So the first couple of days of fasting is kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, because you get hungry and you feel like you got that hunger hormone going on. The good thing is it only lasts about 10-15 minutes and then it goes away, so you're good to go. But definitely, if you are able to get through the fasting period, like the first 2 or 3 days, it's like you don't crave any sugar anymore. You don't crave any carbs anymore. None of that. It's like gone. You can cure your sugar addiction by fasting. So definitely recommended for that. Also, increased energy. I've been fasting. So obviously today is Monday, so I do Monday and Tuesday fast. Actually, I'm going longer this time because I really want to get off my last 25 pounds. So wish me luck. But I have had so much energy today. And I always have energy when I fast. I have mental clarity, I have energy, I can do a workout, I can do Zumba. I love Zumba. I do that. I could dance around the house. keep your mind busy. That is the biggest thing, keeping your mind busy. Have stuff to do. And especially the first 3 days, be intense about it. Be intense about it so that you can get over the hunger and that you could keep pushing through. Now, if you do eat, you will get hungry. If you eat just a little bit and say, I'm so hungry, I have a lot to do, I have a lot of physical exertion going on, I have a job that makes me do a lot, and then you eat, the fact that you eat, it's gonna put your body into starvation mode, to where you're gonna want to eat more, to where you're gonna be ravenous, to where it's gonna be really hard to control it. So for me, I rather just not eat at all, because then I get all of the benefits, and eventually the hunger, like I said, it'll go away. The hunger goes away. It's like a wave. It comes, you're really, really hungry, and then it goes away. So I have talked about the weight loss. Usually I do 1 to 2 pounds a day. I love it. It's so great for slimming down, but you can't slim down and then decide, oh, I lost 20 pounds or I lost 10 pounds this week, so I'm just going to go eat garbage again. Like, that is not the point of fasting. The point of fasting is to reset everything and really get your mind right. Get your mind right, get your body, get your relationship with food right again. And so you do that, and then eat better, and don't eat as much. Like, just don't eat as much. And if you find yourself eating too much, just stop. And then use the fasting technique of fasting a couple of days a week to maintain. Okay? So what I've been doing is I lost weight and I've been maintaining, and now I'm going for it again. So it's important to maybe take some time also in between. This is going to be forever thing. It's not going to be like, I'm going to fast and then I'm going to go eat like a pig. You can't do that. You really have to start gauging yourself and how much you're eating and how many calories you're putting into your body. Now, don't go crazy on me. Don't think that you need to, like enter everything into your phone, into the, Fitness Pal or whatever you use. But be mindful. Eat healthier, be mindful, and don't eat so much anymore. Like, that's what got us here, right? So we gotta stop. All right, improve mental focus. I've already talked about that a little bit, but I find that I do some of my best work when I'm in a fasted state, because I have a lot more mental clarity. Like, when we eat a big meal, right, we get the food coma. So when we don't eat, actually our mind has the opposite effect on our mind. We get very, very mentally clear, and to me, I'm just very, very productive. I have high energy, I'm productive, I have a lot to share, to write, all of that. So that's exciting for me. And then emotional balance. I think that I've always kind of been an emotional eater throughout my whole life. I remember as like a 5-year-old, my grandma giving me a cookie when something would, go wrong. And I know she did it out of love, but obviously we all know this, it creates dependencies. And then instead of, feeling our feelings, we eat our feelings. So meditation has helped me with that a lot, and being mindful has helped me with that a lot. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Even as a meditation teacher, I still have that going on in my life sometimes when things happen, and I try not to, but there are periods where I'll backslide and I will eat my feelings. It's not good. We can't do that. It's not a lifelong strategy. Like, I always believe that when we're growing as people, we're constantly getting better. Like, the goal is to constantly get better as a person, right? So when these things come up to you, we got to work on them. And I swear to God, it seems like as soon as you think you're through one thing, the universe says, oh, and by the way, here's another thing to work on. And you're like, I just, feel like I grew from this really big thing, and now here we go again. But that's the way life is, and hopefully we're always getting better and better. So emotional balance. I find that because of the mental clarity, also I feel much more balanced. Emotionally, I feel happier. When I'm fasting, I feel more motivated. I feel happier inside. I don't feel depressed. I don't get into like a funk that I would get into maybe if like I'm eating a lot of carbs, or I know you can relate to this. Well, most of you, I'm sure, I hope that you can relate to this, but you know, that funk that we get into when, you know, we're thinking about our lives and we're like, oh, you know, like everything is not rainbows and butterflies. It's not. It's life. There's some hard stuff to deal with sometimes. But we can't use food to deal with it. It just, that strategy doesn't work, okay? Because then we end up feeling like, okay, if I need to deal with the emotion versus just eating it, because then I'm dealing with the emotion and the fact that I'm fat, right? So we don't want to do that. That sucks. So I talked about the hormone, the muscle growth hormone, kicking in. Oh, and I wanted to tell you too, there are 2 apps that I love to use for fasting. The one is called Life Extend. Now these are available in the App Store for Apple, but Life Extend, and I'm pretty sure they have it for Google as well. Life Extend, because it's fantastic for you know, telling you what's going on at each stage. Like, oh, you fasted for this many hours, this is what's happened, blah blah. And then there's another one called Fastient, Fastient. And the reason I love this one is because it actually tells you how many calories you're burning on your fast. Yes, how many calories you're burning on your fast. So go download those 2 apps because they are phenomenal. They're wonderful. I love them so much. So fasting breaks up toxins and your fat reserves, which gives you more energy. So this is always what I think to myself. Okay, I'm fasting. Oh, my breakfast is right here. My lunch is right here. You know, my dinner, oh, it's over here. Like, that's what I'm thinking about, okay? And so that's what happens. Your body will break down that fat to use it as energy instead of your meal. So tell yourself that. Use some affirmations. You know how I'm big into affirmations and I love them. And I really do believe that it's important to control your mental, okay? Fasting gives your digestive system a break. Your gut, if you have inflammation, if you have inflamed ankles or feet, or you have joint pain or hip pain or back pain, or, you know, whatever you have inflammation from or whatever's going on, fasting will help that. It decreases inflammation in your body. So very important. Also, autophagy. Probably don't even need to say that word because I'm sure you know what it is already, but it's when the fast is breaking down, your body is breaking down the old cells, recycling the old cells. So your metabolism, I think it's basically the last thing, your metabolism also actually increases during fasting. So one of the reasons that I read for this was that, like, let's say when food was scarce, if you hadn't eaten, like, you need some energy, right? You have to go chase down or go hunt or gather or whatever to get your food. So studies have actually shown that even now our bodies, we're not so evolved, right? That our metabolism actually increases during fasting. So I hope that this video has helped you and that it has answered some questions for you. I know it's a little long. I hope it's been good. I hope it's been informative. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. Oh, and I do actually have a guided hypnosis and meditation session for you. There's one for fasting. There's one for ketogenic lifestyle. If you like that, if you like the affirmations and that mental work as you're going to sleep, they're very, very helpful. So please check those out, and thank you once again for watching the video. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.